Learn from the best. Richard Quick, David Marsh, Eddie Reese, Frank Busch. Get faster now at championshipproductions.com.
And welcome back to the show. John Wingfield is an Olympic diving coach and the director of the USA Diving National Training Center in Indianapolis. And John joins us on the line right now from Fort Lauderdale. John, welcome to the show.
How y'all doing?
Good. Thanks for coming on. So this Grand Prix meet this weekend, what's the importance of it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, well, this is our American showcase, so I would say this is 8.5, 9 in terms of the Grand Prix circuit for us.
8.5, 9 with a degree of difficulty?
Yeah, exactly. Degree of difficulty 3, 5 or better.
All right, so this is the big showcase for USA Diving. Do you mean that in terms of all of America's best divers are there, or just
Well, yeah, all the American best divers are here. We have 9 of the 12 Olympians here. 2 of our Olympians have retired, so we only have 1 that's not here, and she's out with a bit of an injury right now. So we have our best of the best. Our entire team size is 22, so we have some young up-and-comers here as well.
All right, so America's best of the best. Are we moving closer to the best of the best in the world? Where is that gap right now?
Well, I think we're closing the gap. We had the youngest Olympic team in 100 years at the Games. Our average age was around 19 years old, and we had 11 of 12 finalists at the Games, and just missed a few medals by less than 4 points in 3 different instances. So we're closing the gap pretty rapidly, and I think with this quadrennium, we have a new high-performance director, and I think we're moving in the direction of bringing home medals from London.
You have a couple of divers competing this weekend, Mary Beth Dunniche and Thomas Fincham. Tell us about those divers. What's their character like? What do you see from them when they compete?
Well, both of them are great young individuals. Thomas is one of our most consistent divers internationally, and certainly is increasing his DD over this quadrennium, and just one of the best athletes I've ever coached in my life. A super guy. And Mary Beth, 16-year-old, young at the sport, our youngest Olympian of the whole 580 U.S. Olympians in Beijing. And she's certainly an up-and-comer, but already has quite a bit of international experience. So we're looking for her to emerge individually. She was in the Games as a synchro partner, and she's really stepping it up individually now.
Speaking of synchro, I guess there's a synchro world selection meet on Sunday after the Grand Prix meet?
That is correct. Sunday and Monday we'll be picking our synchro team for the Worlds in both the men's and women's 10-meter platform and men's and women's 3-meter.
Okay. Take me back a little bit to Mexico City a couple weeks ago. It was quite a bizarre scene there with the swine flu fears, I imagine.
Absolutely. I mean, we walked in for the opening ceremonies of the meet there in Mexico City, and there was a bunch of hustle and bustle going on around us, and we were kind of wondering what was going on. And the FINA Medical Committee stepped up and indicated that this potential pandemic was breaking out, and that Mexico City was the epicenter for it. And so we had a team meeting immediately, and meeting with all the FINA officials, and they indicated that we were going to continue with the meet. It would be televised, but they were not going to allow spectators in the venue for our protection. So I was very pleased with how well done it was by the FINA Medical Committee.
Now, were you tempted, though, to just pull everybody out and get the heck out of Mexico as soon as possible?
There were thoughts of that. The athletes were a little stressed initially by it, and then again, they educated us on what was going on, and then they put us in really what we call a closed system. So we were at the hotel, and from the hotel to the pool, we rode buses, and then from the pool to the hotel, we rode buses. And then all ancillary facility help, maintenance personnel, and administrators were provided with masks, and they wore masks, again, to protect us. So if they sneezed or coughed, it would be contained within themselves and not spread airborne into the facility or amongst athletes and that type of thing.
And how was the actual diving as a result of that? Did was the pressure off because nobody was watching, or what'd you see out of the performances?
Well, a couple things. One is that every time we go to Mexico, they always have a great crowd, several thousand, folks in the facility to cheer us on, and this was going to be a big one. So when you take the crowd out of it, obviously, there's sometimes a letdown. However, we worked with the athletes and we let them know that, hey, you're still on TV and there's still prize money out there to be won. So the diving still continued at a very high level, although I would say maybe the top edge was taken off a little bit by not having the crowd in there.
Yeah. So these divers, they like to be watched, huh?
Yeah, they like to be watched, and they like to hear the applause, and certainly there's an excitement not only amongst the divers but the judges as well. So some of that was simply downgraded a little bit. But again, I thought the athletes stepped up quite well, knowing that they were on TV and also battling for that prize money that was available.
Hey, John, real quick, give us one or two special things, whether it be from an American diver or an international diver, to watch for this weekend in Fort Lauderdale.
Well, in Fort Lauderdale, we have the Chinese Olympic team here, so they're going to be performing at their best as well. So, that's going to be a battle for some individual outcomes. I think our men's synchro 10-meter, David Bodai and Thomas Fincham, I think they're going to be vying for gold here. So we're going to push them to the top. So I think that's one of the highlights to watch for.
All right, John, thanks a lot for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it, too.
All right, that's John Wingfield joining us from Fort Lauderdale today, and that is our show for today. Join us